and then there's 3 left, so 103.
103. That's nice to have behind your back. Okay, we have people who are ready to talk to you. I know you felt like...
I said I feel like I've been talking you guys' ear off all day. Thanks for listening to me talk more.
That's great. They love you or they wouldn't be here. Our first question is right there. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Hello, Amy.
Hi.
Just before the question, on behalf of the Chinese fans, we love you, not only as Roots, but also as Amy yourself. And my question is, how do you feel about personal interest creating such an international effect, like spreading not only in America, but also to Britain, China, everywhere?
I mean, it's been pretty incredible. What was one of our favorite parts of the cast of the show was that so many people would come and visit us on set, and we had a bunch of ladies from France who came once a year, and they would all come and bring us really delicious French cookies and food and chocolate. And then we had a group from Italy, and there was the POI moms who were from all over the US, and then we had our amazing Chinese fans who are so dedicated and always wonderful, and it's just been, it's pretty incredible that, you know, when you're filming a show, you just don't imagine where all it's going to spread, and the fact that people have embraced it all over was really exciting for us.
Thank you very much.
Have you been recognizable overseas? Have you been approached or?
I don't guess I've been overseas. Well, that's not true. I went to Australia, so that didn't feel too exotic, I guess. But it was.
Were you recognized by anyone?
Yeah, there was a lot of personal interest fans, so it was exciting.
How was that? Was that? I've done a selfie with you. Did you?
Not too much. Everyone's so nice, so yeah, it's always exciting to meet people wherever you are.
They are very nice down there, so yeah, very good. Hi.
Hi, Amy. I just had a question. I think it's fair to say all of us love you on POI. And me in particular, I loved your scenes with Michael Emerson. I just felt like they were really just electric. So what can you tell me about shooting those scenes, and what are you going to miss?
Oh, I mean, Michael Emerson is probably the best actor on television. So if you get a chance to do a scene with him, then he's going to make you look better just for being near him. But yeah, he's just such a wonderful, generous, intelligent man, and the way that he just kind of, I mean, him and Jim together, right? He was such a role model for how the show was conducted and how people, even if you were on set for one day, if Michael was there, he just set such a great example of work ethic and how to be a good person and a good actor. So those were definitely some of my favorite scenes too. I always liked the debates we had and the stuff that the writers wrote for us to talk about. A lot of times I'd have to look up, like, what am I talking about? Because it was always, a lot of times I would think that the writers had just made it up, and then you would find out this is actually something that's happening, and could be happening, and it's not as fictional as it seems. So it was great working with him.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi, my name is Eric. Amy, I love your entire body of work. Assuming you have a desire to, what would be your dream superhero role in any upcoming movie or TV series?
Well, I keep hoping that they'll ask me back on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and since I feel like since I got exploded or electrified at the end, that has to give you some sort of superpower, at least I'm not sure. So I'm not sure what good superhero has electricity as their power that's a good one, not a mean one. So that would be my choice.
Yeah, so you want to stick with that.
Do you have a good suggestion?
You can have a sidekick.
I definitely want a sidekick.
So you would be Electra Woman and Diana.
Okay.
I need to zoom.
Those of us old enough to know who that is.
Okay, that doesn't work.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
There we go.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would agree. And that was second season. That was 2014 when you were on S.H.I.E.L.D.
That
I know, I'm
The
trying to.
second or the first? I'm not sure.
Anybody remember? It was first season. But towards the end, though, kind of like, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. So first season. Awesome.
I've probably honed in all my powers by now, and I'm ready.
You. Hi.
Hi, my name's Ashley, and so I had a question. As part of a few LGBT characters that were on TV, how did it feel to portray Root, a character that represents such a small minority on TV? Did you feel any burden or like sense of responsibility?
I mean, one of my favorite parts of how they wrote this role in Shaw and how they handled the whole relationship on the show is that they just made it that these two characters love each other, and it was never an issue of if they were gay or straight or anything. It was just like, clearly these people are meant to be together, and that even the other characters didn't comment on it in any way. And so I felt, I guess, just meeting so many great people at these kind of conventions and having so many people come up to me later and tell me that this role and playing a LGBT character has been inspirational to them, it made me feel like, oh, I guess it just felt like I was trying to play the character as best I could. And so now I mostly feel honored that it spoke to people in such a way, and that I got to play one of these characters, one of the few characters like that, and that it's had a positive influence on the community and different people.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for the question. Amen.
Hi, Amy. Hi, I just wanted to say the 100th episode made me cry. Thanks a lot. But I went back and watched some of the old episodes, the ones when Rude first came on, and it's amazing how complicated your character really is. I wanted to ask you, do you think Rude is a good person who does bad things, or a bad person who does good things?
Oh, yeah, I mean, everyone's like, we're so sad that Root died, and I'm looking back, like, at the beginning, when I was first on the show, everyone's like, die, we want you to die! So it's nice that I made some fans over the years. But yeah, she definitely did some bad things, but I've always felt like she was a good person, or she felt like everything she was doing was for what she believed in. So even when she was doing bad things, it was for the greater good, which in her mind was the machine and everything involved.
Thank you.
It seems to me that a lot of actors that I've spoken to seem to enjoy playing the villain, playing the bad guy. They think it's the most colorful role, the most complicated role, and things of that nature. So that's a really good question if you were a bad person doing a good thing, or a good person doing a bad thing.
Yeah.
You were still in an enjoyable part of the roles that people were seem to like. Did you like playing?
I mean, that's something that they do really well on the show, is all of the characters are very complicated. I mean, we're all kneecapping and killing people left and right, so no one's getting like gold stars for good behavior. But yeah, I think even when you're playing a villain, you have to have the sense behind it that you're doing it for like just to be mean for the sake of being mean doesn't really appeal to me as an actor. But when someone's doing something negative because they believe in something so strongly, I think that makes for a really interesting character.
Agreed. Understood. Hi.
Hi. I'm going to ask an angel question. I've heard how direct Joss Whedon can be with his characters and the way he wants shows to go. How much of yourself were you able to put into Fred's character?
Oh, well, I mean, maybe not the crazy part as much, but maybe Fred and I both love tacos. Let's see, she was from Texas, there was that. I wish I was as smart as her, but I'm not. Yeah, but there was definitely some hints of Amy, but I think that, I don't know, Joss has a pretty good way of mapping out characters, and I guess I was lucky that I fit into that. Thank you.
Awesome. Hi.
Hi, my name is Ed. What you're saying is that you are dead on that show, then. You're just going to deal with your voice the rest of the last 3 episodes?
I mean...
Spoiler. What are you saying, sir? About her shoes? You like her shoes?
Yeah, I mean, I think... Well, the last 3 episodes are really, really good, and I will say that I cried on the 10th episode when I was leaving the cast and crew and was like, oh, I'm never going to see you guys again. And then when I was back the next week, it was a little awkward. Is that a spoiler? I don't know.
Following week. Hey, I left something. I'm just here to pick something up, just so you know. So, yeah, 3 episodes left. I would warn the audience for requesting things that I'm sure she will not tell. But sometimes people are just so nice that you just reveal a little too much of what we need to hear. So don't bait her, please. Okay?
I think they have shown some previews for the next few episodes, and you do see me in flesh in those previews. So.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you'll see me. I don't know what you're seeing exactly.
Tell me.
My body.
Well.
Okay. It's the naked day.
She already did that episode.
Hi.
Hi, Amy. My name is Megan. Thank you so much for coming out today. My question is, of all the costumes you've been able to wear, you have made out your favorites, and did you keep anything?
Oh.
Are you talking one series?
Are you
or all?
talking like group cover-up costumes, or in general all costumes? Oh.
You know, Illyria to Dr. Saunders and Whiskey, all the way up to Rick.
Oh man.
Would you steal?
I'm regretting that I haven't stolen more. I don't have anything. No, the only thing that I stole was on my desk in Angel. I had a golden armadillo, and I took it. I don't think they're missing it. I don't know. If someone needs it back,
That's so lame. Golden armadillo. Expensive wardrobe all around you, and you steal a paperweight. Okay, all right. What's up, brother?
Hey there. So I just recently discovered Person of Interest and caught all the way up. And in the episode where the facial recognition was messing up,
Yeah.
all of the other actors, they got through it and they had their parts, but you exquisitely nailed all of the other actors.
Can you say it again?
Did you practice for that, or did you just work with them and know them so well that you just were like, I got this?
I mean, that was probably the scariest thing I've ever had to do, was like trying to imitate someone who's standing off camera looking at you. I was like, this is a good way to lose friends really fast. So, we all worked a little bit on that. Luckily, Kevin Chapman had the idea of, he was like, why don't we all record our lines and our voices for the people? So we emailed each other recordings of us saying our own lines, and so that you could go over it and do your best attempt to try to make people. I don't know, I thought Michael's interpretation of me was pretty hilarious.
That was pretty cool, though. I like that. So there was no guy off the side with a big old cue card in your line.
No.
Awesome. Hello.
Hi, Ed. Thanks for being here with us today. It's a long day for you, I guess. And we have several Chinese fans here, 2 of whom flew all the way here from
Ni
China. And thousands of them online want us to send their love to you.
Thank you.
And the question is, So after that devastated and explosive 100th episode, we all knew that you are going to be the voice of the machine. So even though in the show you said the machine knows you probably better than yourself, do you think there'll still be a difference between Root and the voice of the machine in the next few episodes?
You know, I think there's going to be some discussion about that in the show, so you'll hear more about it, better explained through Joan's words instead of mine. But they wanted to make it clear by building up that in the 100th episode that the machine really does know us better than we know ourselves, and I think it kind of goes on at one point. I don't know if that part made the actual end cut of the episode, but that she like knows us with 99.6% accuracy. So it's pretty close to, as close, it actually was really complicated to figure out because I'm like, so wait, the machine knows exactly Root to 99.6% accuracy, but then the machine saying her own ideas in Root's voice, but Root and the machine kind of share a lot of the same ideas as it is. So there's a lot of, I hope it all becomes clear, but it's a lot of Root and the machine and kind of melding into one thing.
Excuse me, where'd that last question person go? Are you saying you guys flew in from China? From Japan? Oh, where are they? Konnichiwa. That's all I know. We're done. Okay.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, man.
As you were saying, in the beginning, Root was like a villain and an assassin, and by the end, she was someone we were rooting for, pun intended. Did you know all along that that was going to be the character's arc, or did they just develop that along the way? Did you even know if your character was going to survive as long as she did? And also, since the person of interest has ended, what's next on your agenda?
Well, when I first was cast in Person of Interest, it was to do 5 episodes. So I don't think they imagined I would be around much longer than that. I think I was set out to be kind of the bad guy for season 2. And luckily I tricked them into keeping me there for the rest of the year. Yeah, so I don't think they knew what I was going to do. I know that Jonah said early on that he knew the journey was for the machine to take Root's voice, and he told me that in the summer before we started shooting season 5, and I think they had that planned for a while because he had hinted at something at Comic-Con the year before that he says was hinting at that. I was like, oh, well, I'm glad I didn't know for 2 years. It was hard enough to keep that secret for a year. Yeah. There was another part of the question.
Where do you go? What are you doing? Later? What do you have upcoming?
I just finished a movie last weekend that I shot in Texas called When Jack Made after the first season, as long as we thought we were going to have. But I think that's going to be one of those shows that kind of, as time passes, it'll become even more relevant and interesting in the eyes of all those Eliza getting to have all the different costumes and some fun roles.
Thank you. Hi.
This kind of piggybacks on her question. I'm a huge Dollhouse fan. And from what I can remember, you play at least 4 distinct characters on that show. You have your 2 and Angel that you played, and it sounds like in what you're currently doing, there's multiple people that you play, or personalities. Do you enjoy that, or do you find yourself ever stomping your foot going, can't I just keep the one person that
I don't know. I guess I've been lucky. I think I'm probably the only actor who's ever been, killed on. I love it. I'm afraid I would be bored if I had to just play one part the whole time. It's so nice to get to do these jobs that you never know what you're going to be and what they're going to write for you. And I feel really lucky to have gotten to do so many different things.
Thank you, because you're very good at it.
Thank you.
Love hearing that. Hi.
Hello, Amy. Last in line, first in people's hearts, though. If I may, on a person of interest with that shocking last episode, it made me go back and think of the very first episode of this season. It basically, which I thought was Rue had an opening monologue. Now I'm thinking, was that really the machine speaking? It made me nervous. It's talking about, don't know we won, don't know we lost, everybody's gone, and now it's making me think of that scene in a different perspective.
Yeah, you should be scared. There's 3 more episodes, and the 100th wasn't the beginning of a happy ending.
You just
I'm just
ruined it for
saying, you
everyone.
should get
It's right here on the
They're
stage.
really good, but you might want Kleenexes.
Now, Amy will no longer be appearing here. Okay, well that was wonderful. That's fantastic.
Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the lovely, beautiful Amy.
Quality Amy.